This is going to be a labor and delivery video. Trying to keep it under 10 minutes. Okay, so I have it written down because there's a lot that went on that 1 week. September 1st, we went to our normal doctor's appointment. I was 38 weeks, I think. And we did centering. Centering is just where they get a bunch of people that are due in September or your due date. And you meet once a month and you do your normal visit and you just had discussions. So it was a lot of fun. So there was about 5 of us that had to get checked at that time. So I got checked at the end of our class and I asked the woman, the midwife, what can I do to please get my membrane stripped? I was on the verge of like begging her. I had already gotten trouble at work, I guess because of my attitude. I wouldn't say trouble, but someone complained. So we went in, she went to check me, she told me I wasn't even dilated. So at that point, you know, I was so discouraged. So Noah always stayed on my right side. It was very odd. So my husband sitting over there, he kind of zoned out when she said that. So then she pushed my stomach over into the middle, or Noah into the middle, and she realized that I was 3 centimeters. And at that point, she went ahead and stripped my membranes. I didn't feel a thing. I didn't know she did it. She said, oh, okay, well, your membranes are stripped. She said, so we'll see you this weekend. And I was kind of in shock because she first showed me she couldn't do it, and then she did it. So Wednesday, that was a Tuesday. Wednesday, I was having contractions, so we went to the hospital, and I was contracting every 5 to 6 minutes, but they kept me there for 2 hours, and I wasn't, you know, progressing. So, and at that point, they checked me, and I was a 5. So I did go from 3 to 5, you know, within a couple hours. But at the hospital, I was not progressing the way they wanted me to. So they sent me home, told me to walk and take baths or whatever. So I went home, so I was having contractions. That it wasn't as strong as they wanted. So they said when it's really strong to where I can't handle it, to come back. So, let me see. So I was having contractions off and on, and then I think Wednesday night they stopped. Thursday we decided to get up early, and we went walking. Now, we walked. And we walked. We walked for approximately 6 hours. So we started about 9 in the morning, and I was having contractions while I was walking. Then we got home, ate dinner, and contractions stopped. So at that point, all day long, I kind of like cut myself off. I was really discouraged. I was really upset. You know, everybody was calling and, you know, asking, so when are we going to have a baby? And that really bugged me. So Thursday, we just kind of, after we walked forever, we didn't do anything. So Friday came, I threw my hands up. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. And Friday was the 4th.
David Hardy, you have a call on line 2. David Hardy, a call on line 2.
Excuse me. So Friday, I said I was done. You know, he'll come when he's ready. And that was September 4th. And I don't think we really did anything during the day. We just kind of relaxed, just slept and rest. And then my stepson and my son hadn't been there all week because of what had been going on. So my stepson's mom called and asked if my stepson could come over for a little while and just hang out. And so my husband called. I went to go to CVS. He called and he said, asked, you know, if it was okay. And I said, yeah, as long as he understands, you know, that if something happens, he's got to be ready to get up and go. So when I got there, he decided that he wanted to stay the night. So they kept explaining to him over and over and over that if something happens in the middle of the night, you'll have to get up, you know, and go right then. No, you know, dragging, and because he's not a, I should say, morning person or person that you wake up. He just doesn't do good when you wake him up. So that was about 8, maybe 8:30 that she dropped him off, and her husband went to a local golf place. We call it putt-putt. And they went downstairs in the basement to play. I was wearing a pad all week, like a panty liner, because I had been literally peeing on myself. And so I went to the bathroom, and the pad was dry. So I was just tired of having that bulkiness down there. So I took it off, and I put it in the trash can, and I went and sat in our computer chair right next to our TV. And I was checking stuff on Facebook or whatever, and I looked at the TV, and then when I sat down, I felt something. Like, I got really upset because I thought I had peed on myself after I had taken that pad off. So when I sat down, I felt it. I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I just peed on myself. And so I went to the bathroom and I wiped, and I still felt like I was wet, so I wiped again. But it was like, it wasn't like a gushing. It was just kind of like if you're peeing, like a trickle kind of thing. So then I used my fingers and I felt it, and it was clear on my hands. So then I called for my husband, and our downstairs bathroom is in our kitchen. So I left the door open when I called him, and he comes up the stairs and is staring at me. And I just looked at him and I was like, I think my water broke. So then at this point, he is just freaking out. You know, he's running around, he's calling Will's mom. You know, he's like, you gotta come back, her water just broke. I called the hospital and they told us that we need to come in. I go change. At this point, my husband's running in and out of the house, getting a towel to put in the car, you know, getting Will into his mom's car, getting our bags. Our bags were already in the car. We had some stuff that we had brought in, making sure we had everything, our toothbrushes, and he was, you know, just going crazy. So I went upstairs to change underwear and pants because mine were soaked. And at that time, he's like yelling at me, Brittany, what are you doing? So he, we get in the car, and we call my mom and a couple other people, and we get there a little bit after 9. And at that point, they don't put you directly into the admitting room. They put you in like an observation room. So they put me in there, and the nurse came in, and they had like these little strips that they swipe down there if you think your water broke. So they did that, and she said, I'm not 100% sure, because she had laid me back, and then she sat me back up. I was like, okay, now check. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, your water definitely broke. So they went ahead and admitted me and put me in a room. I was having no contractions whatsoever. So, sorry, I'm checking time. So I wasn't having any contractions, and she said you can do whatever. You can walk, take a bath, shower, whatever. So I went to take a shower just because, I took a shower that morning and then my water had broke. So I took a shower and we decided to go walking. Contractions still hadn't started, and it was a little bit after 10, probably almost 11. And then we decided to go walking after the shower. We walked around in about 2 circles around the little mother-baby unit, and that's when contractions started. So I was like, okay, I want to go back to the room. So we go back to our room, and I got in the bathtub. And at that point, it was around 11 or a little bit after, and they checked me. I think she checked me when we got back, and I was a 7. Let's see. No. I was a 6 when we got into the room. So I decided to get in the bathtub. And then within 20 minutes, the contractions got really, really bad. I mean, they were like a minute and a half apart. So then at 20 minutes, I felt like, after we got in the tub, 20 minutes later, I felt like I had to push. So we called the nurse, and they got me out, and they put me on the bed, and they said that I was an 8. That was in 20 minutes. So, and I did not have an epidural. I didn't have anything. So then I decided to get back in the bathtub. And then another 20 minutes go by, and I feel the same way. I feel like I'm going to push. So she comes in, so we get back out, and she checks me, and she said, yeah, you're about complete. So I went from 5 to 10 in about 40 minutes. And at that point, we wanted to do natural, but I was begging for an epidural at that point. It hurt so bad. I mean, I was in so much pain, I was convulsing in the bathtub. So we started pushing. They called the midwife, and at that point she said, the midwife comes in, she said, don't push anymore. So I had to stop pushing. And stop pushing when you're actually feeling contractions is the hardest thing to do ever. And I'm going to stop because I'm over time.